Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, hello, welcome back. If you're a completely new person, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy this content. It helps me in the algorithm. So, oh my God, there's so much going on, but all I can really say is that Meghan left that show pissed, and I'm gonna tell you why. So as we all know, Meghan makes her big debut back to fashion, back to the Hollywood scene in Paris. Now, reports have been swirling that allegedly she stayed at the same hotel as Diana, and this was all to send a message to Harry to try and, invoke some kind of, I don't know, some kind of emotion. Also, there's reports swirling online that she was flirting with a mystery man, which I'm going to feature in this video somewhere here. So she's trying to send a message to Harry that she's still got it, that she's still hot, that she's still relevant, that, the world is still desperate for a slice of Meghan. And we all just know that that is not the case. Like, her brand is a flop. She actually popped up on social media literally yesterday using the jam jar tongs the completely wrong way, which I think a lot of people have talked about. And I spoke about it in my previous video. But that's not really what I want to talk about here. What I want to talk about here is the way in which Meghan was royally dissed, not just by Tracy Ellis Ross, not just by a lovely British actress, and I'm sure you know her, Kristan Scott Thomas. I'm going to get into that because there's also the footage to back it up as well. Meghan was royally being snubbed by Balenciaga. So I've seen on social media that Balenciaga officially has posted their guest list, and guess who was left out? So I'm going to quickly shoot on to this article by WWD magazine. It's a fashion magazine, and they talk about, well, they kind of feature all the relevant people, all the people who they thought was relevant at the show on their website. Meghan's nowhere to be found on this list. So I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I couldn't find her anywhere. It's not cool to be associated with Meghan, and I think that the tables really turned when Meghan got in the event, because you're seeing these clips when Meghan initially walked into the event. She's all smiles like, hi, 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 yeah. Oh, Anna Wintour, who's been snubbing her since she left the royal firm. She hasn't invited her to one Met Gala, one event, and Meghan actually wasn't invited to this Balenciaga fashion show, which is just, I mean, considering she's meant to be humanitarian and Balenciaga have been caught up in that scandal with kids, without going into details, you'd think that she wouldn't be jumping at the chance to go there anyway. But this is a woman who, in my personal opinion, I feel like this whole thing just confirms she's not a mother. But before I get off of track, she was actually invited by the designer. I think the guy's called Pierre Piccolo. Don't quote me on it because I'm not sure of the pronunciation. So she was invited by the designer who's recently been employed by the House of Balenciaga, and he's left Valentino, according to my short bit of research. Let's go down this list. Nobody wanted to take pictures with Meghan. That's why she left with the clenched jaw, looking really angry. I actually made a little clip of this, a little short video on my channel. So she leaves the show. She walks in happy, and then she leaves the show with a clenched jaw, looking really angry. Like, I want to punch somebody real good, But you'll actually see a lot of footage that she was snubbed. So here we go. Celebrities front row at Balenciaga, spring 2026, ready to wear show photos. So we have Anne Hathaway, nowhere to be seen next to Meghan. She's #1 on the list. She's a hot actress. We have Lauren Sanchez Bezos, Jeff Bezos' wife, looking fabulous. We have Lord Roach. I'm not sure who he is, but he's up there, right? Then we have Dixie D'Amelio. We have a supermodel here. I think both of them are models. Laya Kibed, Barbara Palvin. This is the lady who snubbed Meghan. So this is Kristan Scott Thomas. And there's a lot that I want to say regarding her, because she actually has a damehood from the Queen. She actually depicted the Queen and met the Queen and had a very good relationship with Queen Elizabeth II when she was alive. So she has the utmost highest respect for the royal firm. And this is the reason as to why Meghan was snubbed. Now, Meghan was pissed because she was put in a position whereby she was literally dissed by A-listers who have real careers, who have real talent. And also because she was placed, if you actually see her on the sit-in front row at the House of Balenciaga fashion show, she was not only placed with her friend who was her +1, but also next to Tracy Ellis Ross, who had no time for her. She had no time for her. And I'm going to get into that as well. Tracy Ellis Ross had no time for Meghan for 2 reasons. Number one, she's a woman of mixed origin, but not only is she a woman of mixed origin, she's also a woman of mixed origin who considers herself to be a black woman. Now, there are a lot of people out there who are of mixed origin, especially if they have a mother who happens to be African American. They're going to identify with being African American as opposed to their white side, because it's just easier for them to just get around in life. Like, you know, the world is going to see you as a woman of color as opposed to someone who's completely white. So why not just make your life simpler and just identify as being a person of color? You don't have to do that. I'm not judging it. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this list. And as you can see, Meghan is nowhere on it. Meghan's not on the list. Right? She's not in any of the promotional material. And she was also placed with people in her mind who she feels as though were not good enough for her. Now, Meghan actually had expectations going in. My sources have leaked that she would have her own private section. That didn't happen. She didn't actually want to be placed next to anybody other than Mark Anderson. But what she experienced, because Meghan now knows she's not popular and a lot of A-listers actively are avoiding her. If you look at all the press releases, you will see they didn't take pictures of her. And then this video of Kristan Scott Thomas actively avoiding her, you can see how uncomfortable other people were around her. The only person that really had time for her was the person who invited her, but no one else was trying to be seen with Meghan. So she whispered something here to him, basically complaining about her seating arrangements. This is what has been leaked on social media. And he's just like, yeah, okay, and you know, well, whatever. So you can see Kristan Scott Thomas here giving this lady eye contact, really trying to be involved. But when it comes to Meghan, can you see when it comes to Meghan, she has no time. She doesn't even want to look in her direction. Do you see that? She doesn't want to look at her. And then Meghan pulls this like duck lip face like, oh my God, I've just been snubbed. I can't actually do it, okay? So she pulls this face, and then this Kristan Scott, this Kristan Thomas lady is just like, I'm out of here. And she rushes away. She's like, I'm getting away from this. Like, I'm not trying to be next to no train wreck. So I'm going to go into why Kristan Thomas treated her this way. Sorry, I'm messing up her name. Kristan Scott Thomas. Why did she treat her this way? So you'll see here, pictured back in 2015, March 2015, she received a damehood from the Queen herself. And she had a good relationship with Her Majesty because she had to play her. And obviously, people who you have to play and you're doing autobiographies of, you generally have to spend some time with them. And she clearly liked her. So the Queen said to her back in the day, it will be quite a challenge to play her, insinuating to her, you know, it's going to be a challenge to depict me as a character. But she was more than happy to have her take up the role. The Queen told actress Kristan Scott Thomas that it will be quite a challenge when she plays the monarch on stage. The beaming theatre and film actress described herself as clearly very happy after the Queen presented her with her damehood for service to drama at Buckingham Palace. And I imagine receiving a knighthood, receiving a damehood at Buckingham Palace from the royals is just one of the most exhilarating experiences any actress can have. It's one of the most fulfilling awards you can have, especially as a Brit, outside of getting an Oscar. So for her, I imagine she has a lot of respect for the crown, a lot of loyalty to the crown. She had no time for Meghan, and Meghan felt that energy. She snubbed her blatantly on camera. You can see it. And Meghan left pissed. She was so pissed. I'm going to get into the reason as to why Tracy Ellis Ross dissed Meghan as well. As I previously said, Tracy Ellis Ross is a proud woman, but not only is she just a proud, as she goes by, black woman, she's also very proud and loving towards her father. Tracy Ellis Ross and her dad have a beautiful relationship. You know, they have an infectious relationship, and she's a big character anyway, as you'll see here in this clip. So you can see her here. I think this was taken somewhat time just after the pandemic. She hadn't seen her dad. He'd been isolating. Everybody was, you know, we was all isolating, right? And she's like, hey, dad.
Hello, Dad. Hi.
Don't you just find her voice infectious?
Daughter.
Now that's a stark contrast to Meghan Skid Markle, right? Skid Markle's dad, I know that reports it's been iffy as to what's going on with him. He's recently made a statement saying he's fine, that he's not affected by the earthquake in the Philippines. And his daughter, Samantha Markle's been all over social media saying, oh, our dad's trapped and he can't walk and blah, 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 blah. But regardless of the point, you'd think that Skid Markle would throw her 81-year-old dad a phone call and just be like, hey, dad, what's going on? I know it's been a long time. Let's put this to bed. Let's put this to rest. Like, life is too short. You could be gone any minute. No, she hasn't done that, right? Tracy Ellis Ross hasn't got time for her. She ain't got time for her. Even Miss Tina Knowles said this to Meghan Markle when she featured on her Lemonada podcast. She said, you know, life is too short to be having arguments. Like, if I ever go to bed on an argument with the girls, I try to put it to bed as soon as possible. Like, I avoid going to bed on arguments with the girls because life is too short. We're not here long enough.
His mother and daughter.
There are difficulties sometimes because when you're dealing with your child or they're dealing with their mother, you know, you have disagreements. And you have to, I'm the one to always cave. Like, I've been like that since I was young. If my kids are mad at me, I can't take it. So I will cave. I'll apologize. Not that they ran over me because they were really good kids, but like, even as adults, if we have a disagreement or whatever, I'm the one to call because I don't want to waste that time. And I don't ever want to not be close to my kids.
Yes.
It's just my priority.
And it would be wasted time. It would be wasted time.
Meghan, hello? Is it ringing a bell? Can you hear anything? Can you hear anything? Ain't nothing going through that brick of wood, okay? Another little hit piece here. Not that it's really directed at Meghan, but Tracy Ellis Ross in the past has opened up about her views on race and her views as a black woman. And now Diana Ross, I mean, who doesn't want to be the daughter of Diana Ross, right? So she's very proud of her black heritage just as much as she embraces her white heritage, her Jewish heritage, you know, and you can have the best of both. That's the truth. The beauty in being of mixed origin is that you literally can have the best of both sides. It doesn't have to be one or the other, right? And you can make peace with both sides. But Meghan hasn't been able to do this. She doesn't want to be identified as a woman of color. She really doesn't. She's actually one of the biggest racists out here, right? And Tracy Ellis Ross is just really not about that. So she said here, on identifying as being a black woman, I've never not known I was black, right? So we're going to conclude here. Meghan Skid Markle was dissed royally by all the other A-listers there. Nobody wants their persona or their social media, like what happened to Gwenny. No one wants that happening to them. No one wants to be associated with her. No one wants to take pictures with her. And she left feeling this big and she started taking it out on her staff. You'll see it in this video. I'm going to leave you with that, guys, because there's so much more to cover, and I'll be back with another video. Bye, guys.